In this video, I'll be continuing the first Trailblaze mission, and I'm back with the Herder and Sunday and Wilt. And all the mirrors as well.
First mirror, input the coordinates. You'll be in charge of the spatial warp.
As you command, Madam Herder. The preparations are complete. I wish you a pleasant journey ahead.
Yeah, the Herder's going to Amphoreus, which is interesting.
Second mirror, prepare for the thought refraction. There's still some distance
Well, she's
from the
actually going
astral
herself.
express to the Amphoreus celestial body. You're in charge of sending me over. This time, raise the power to the maximum. Don't be stingy.
Oh, okay. I won't fail the mission, Madam Herder.
Last time there were just one of these mirrors, but now there's 4 of them.
Third mirror, you're in charge of generating the data spirit entity.
I'm happy to help, Madam Herder.
This one sounds
what
different.
What kind of appearance are you planning to use this time?
Good question. Let me think. Forget it. Just use my own appearance. There's no one there that'll recognize me anyway.
Why is this mirror laughing so much? Wait, what about the 4th mirror? Wait,
Fourth mirror, you'll be in charge of... It seems like I have nothing for you. Just stand by and wait for orders.
Jesus.
Standing by again. That's so boring. Next time, can you count down from 4 instead?
Aww. Poor 4th mirror. Always having to stand around doing nothing. Do they ever see?
Preparation of the data spirit entity complete. Thought refraction at max power. Excellent. The first mirror. Let's get going.
Have a safe trip, Madam Herta.
May your journey yield good results.
Coordinates input complete. Preparing to activate spatial warp. Destination, unknown celestial body. Amphoreus. Spatial warp countdown. 5, 4,
Is there gonna be a cutscene for this?
2, 1.
That'd be cool if there's a cutscene.
Warp activated.
Oh! So that's Amphoreus? Its appearance is... well, sure is unique. Second mirror. Prepare for thought refraction. It's time to send me in.
Alright, please read the safety protocols carefully.
Can't you hurry up?
Yes, ma'am.
Give them some time.
I didn't expect it to be so turbulent. I should have asked the second mirror to use slightly less power.
Well, she went directly into this place.
What a magnificent sight! Is this the entrance to Amphoreus?
That's the flame river. And that's me and Dunhung.
Let's see. Perhaps I'll be able to find a way in.
Okay, that's interesting.
What's this? A statue? It's ugly. I don't like it.
That's disrespectful. It's us.
Oh, I finally found your traces. How esteemed must you be for the great Herda to come out personally? When we return, get ready to become free labor for the simulated universe for the rest of your lives.
Oh no. That's not good.
What's this? How creepy. Oh, it moves? Who are you trying to scare? It's either a projection or a fake. there doesn't seem to be much to take note of. Now then, how am I going to get into Amphoreus?
So why is this stuff here? None of the things are lit up. None of the Titan things are lit up. That's strange.
My deepest apologies, esteemed lady.
Oh, it's this guy.
I'm afraid that you cannot proceed further.
Who's there?
Your visit, although not part of my calculations, is a pleasant surprise. It's a pity that the preparations are not yet in place to receive you with the hospitality
you know
that
her?
some of your status deserves.
How does he know her?
Are you not going to answer my question? Who are you?
I have many identities, and I'm going to have even more in the future. But if you just need a form of address, you can use my common alias, Lycurgus. Lygus.
All right, Lygus. But you can't possibly think that I'm just asking for a name, can you?
Regrettably, I do not have the authority to share more information.
It's strange that he wouldn't know about her though, because I thought they didn't know about anything outside, unless he comes from outside of Amphoreus.
However, standards are always flexible. While not violating the ultimate agreement, I'm able to disclose this piece of information. As you thought, this is the entrance to Amphoreus.
I wonder if he is not from Amphoreus then. That'd be interesting.
Please, kindly turn back. Amphoreus is not a world that you should be involved with, regardless of what kind of magnificent achievements you have accomplished. This place will not open its doors so easily.
You seem to understand me very well. Then you should know that I have no reason to listen to you.
Your reaction is completely within my calculations. Despite my long years as a watcher, it seems like my assessment of human nature still remains accurate. From you, I'm able to sense a beautiful desire for knowledge.
He says he's a watcher. What is a watcher?
But my answer remains unchanged. Madam, it is with the utmost goodwill that I suggest you return to where you came from.
Let's assume for a second that I'm not so well-mannered, and that I insist on uncovering the secrets hidden behind you, Mr. Lygus. How do you plan to dispel this notion of mine?
Within the scope of the ultimate agreement, there are 178,244 logic chains at my disposal to convince you. After
So he
filtering
is a
through them,
robot.
I have determined that I only require 3 to attain the results that I desire.
Oh? I'm all ears.
First, for reasons that cannot be disclosed, Amphoreus is a completely isolated celestial body. Apart from me, no one else will be able to help you enter.
That's not a good argument.
Second, if your plan is, as you've alluded to previously, to force me into cooperating by showing hostility, do know that, just like you, I have basked in the gaze of the erudition. I stake my honor and assure you that In the worst case scenario, our mutual destruction will be inevitable.
Oh,
That's interesting.
no wonder I couldn't find a back door. When I did a scan of our surroundings, the safety protocols on you are comparable to Screwy's. How interesting.
I assume that you still wish to hear the third logic chain.
Of course. Why wouldn't I?
Third, even if you exhaust all your means and find a way to break through, you will surely give up once you understand the consequences of your actions. After all, throughout your long life, as much as you'd hate to admit, your conscience has played a crucial role.
What a brazen robot. You think that you can actually understand me through your paltry calculations? But since you put it that way, why don't you tell me what these consequences will be?
It concerns the third path that is entangled with Amphoreus. A path that you and your friends still very much lack understanding of.
What
The
is
destruction. So,
destruction?
if you ignore my warnings and persist in your ways, you will break the shackles of a Lord Ravager. And when that happens, their fury will engulf the cosmos.
That doesn't sound good. Or complete. Ah, that's the end. Wait, is it? Yeah, I think that is the end. Okay. Well, that was a... yeah, that was a good act. It was all about Castris and Anaxa. I think Castris is probably my favourite Amphoreus character so far. Her story is done very well. And yeah, her design is also very good. I think this is... yeah, this is the end. That's the third act. So now... it's just these two. There's only two left to get. And then we've done it all. We've got all the core flames. So we're probably nearing the end. We actually got... I think we got 2 core flames in this act. So maybe in the next act we'll get the last 2. Or maybe we'll just get 1 and then it'll be 2 more acts. But it seems like we are very close to the end of Amphoreus. Each act has its own really long, interesting story to it. So I'm really interested what will be like at the very end of the Amphoreus Trailblaze mission. Complete Trailblaze mission, Witch's Mirrored Versal. Was that the name of the whole Trailblaze mission? Okay, and then I'll do these in the next episode. Probably this one, since it's... yeah, this one will be permanent. This one's not. So I'll do this one first. Okay, how many more have I got? Oh, there's quite a few. Okay, I'll start with Cypher. Those flame-chasing people, those forgotten stories, as I've written. Lying Cat's Travelogue. A thief tells a few stories.
The first story is titled The Golden Apple. It doesn't have to go to the fairest.
That city is named Paphos, where the golden light of Menestia shines. The golden apple tree sits in the city's middle. Only the fairest can pluck its apples. The beauty pageant begins on time as the fair ones stretch their subtle arms, trying to pluck the fruits from above their heads. Yet every time the apple comes within reach, a breeze blows the fruit away without trace. The audience is in displeasure disbands, with only the girl left standing there, her features bland. Yet to her surprise she finds her arms full of golden fruits, a harvest grand.
The second story is titled Trying to Argue? Don't trick yourself, please.
These are weird titles. That city is named Adelia, where Circe's roots bury deep and wide. The sophist scholar holds a tortoise aloft, but his theories, common sense bereft.
Even the best athlete could never catch up to this turtle.
None can overturn him in arguments, and he obtains the champion's crown in merriments. Yet as he is about to leave, a wind blows the tortoise in front of him, and behold, his paradox becomes truth. To catch up to the turtle, an entire day and night he spends.
The third story I will tell is titled A Competition in Trickery. Who do you think is the Grandmaster?
That city is named Dolos, where even Zagreus was once tricked. The king promises to reward the perfect lie, wishing to recreate the deceit of the Titan, his grand feat. That doesn't sound like a very nice city to live in.
I think the world is a gourd.
In truth, we are all already dead.
What? The liars take their turns in the challenge, but no one pleases the king. With a gust of wind, the girl emerges from the king's face, and when she leaves, she is already at the king, has the king's promised gold in a pouch.
Zagreus can
Give us a
only tell
curse.
lies. And I am Zagreus.
The others are curious as what lie she raised. Zagreus can only tell lies, and I'm Zagreus. What? So she's... So she's just saying she's not Zagreus.
The The fourth story is called You Like Money. Good. But you must pay the price.
That city named Mythamus, where the sea breeze intoxicates the people with delight. A wealthy penny pincher,
Please give me
Priestess
the
Hayden,
power to turn anything into gold.
with a breeze, the rock in his hand turns to gold, but his joy is fleeting to behold, for with one embrace his wife turns into coins, scattered on the soil. This is like the... Isn't there a real thing like this? Where the guy turns everything into gold? He howls at Felusa to attract the blessing, but sees a girl in a hood in passing. The girl laughs hilariously, holding his
Back
hands
and
in
check
his.
your vault. Some gold may be missing. But your beloved is right there, waiting.
She's coins now.
Cyphera, you took another long journey.
And we want to hear your fun stories!
The girl with hood dangles her feet in the bath as 2 coins dance and fly between her fingers.
Basically, I visited 4 places, tricked them to my heart's content, and came back fully rewarded.
The girl pauses her words and looks out the window as the light above the Titan's shoulder casts her right cheek aglow.
The dawn will never cease, and the thief's star wanders in foreign lands. How would you know that I am not lying right now?
Yeah, she does seem to lie about everything. Okay, next is Castras. Part 3. To the dead, when she bids farewell, she casts her slate into fire, an act futile. I've never heard of lands with such customs. At this time, something drizzles down the slate, full of colours, seemingly tears for the reaper of chills. It turns out the slate is inscribed with poems, and every phrase is diligently coloured with skill.
Before people pass away, I write down these poems.
That is the limit of the girl's answer, and she only responds with silence for a request to read these poems. Is she burning it? As time goes, she finally opens her petal veil heart, and the reason behind her reluctance to share her work is finally
My poems
clear.
are still too green. Not worthy to be art.
It stems from the girl's shame and discomfort. It seems the girl once also loved to imagine with effort, and many wild tales were written on her part. A misunderstanding was what made her cease this art. Ah, that's sad. It was a pair of arch enemies who gained fame in the war. One of them burst into laughter after reading the girl's
He
poetic
and I
words.
clearly wish to kill and tear each other apart. But in your eyes, you think we are close, unable to part.
Is that an Nexa? Oh wait, no, was that fine? It's hard to tell from the voices. Did she not write poetry as a pastime? It is said that she left great works under hundreds of names. In different times, she even criticized her previous beliefs, making her identity even harder to assume. I still found her weakness after many twists and turns. No matter how fickle her thoughts, she never lost faith in those words regarding the value of fragile mortal lives. She is heartbreaking and enchanting. She's the fingertips of death and the ghost of love and poetry. However, those poems have brought her many complaints. The poems that her hands composed all lack an ending of any kind, and the Maid of Death has no desire to continue them.
This is truly difficult to write.
The girl excuses herself.
My duty is to lead the living to the end.
Oh no, why is I doing this?
I cannot think of a fitting end for a poem to the dead.
Okay, it's fine. Such is the epitome of lies. One who's grown used to death remains inexperienced with farewells. Therefore, I extend an invitation. In this story belonging to herself, she can leave an ending reserved only for her.
What she brings is not only death.
She thus replied, when we first met, and when we meet once again for the last time, she again deliberates over this closing statement.
Apart from death, there is something else that is worth remembering.
That is the journey she walked. Okay, next is Mighty. Part 4.
To die for glory is not eternal sleep.
This is the lie all Custom Criminals keeps.
The world after death is superior to reality and basks in light.
But such vague poems, the Crown Prince will not easily believe.
Cowards who dare not to look death in the eye.
He declared thus on the day he returned from the stream of souls.
Longing for a martyr's heaven and reciting self-deceiving stories.
His words are sacrilege reincarnate, more arrogant than his blood and family.
True warriors should treat that paradise with spite.
Many fellows thus stopped, no longer following his steps, for they feel this young man's words, compared to poems, are even more absurd. The body immortal equals not perfection. A man braved dangers endless, simply to seek his weakness. In his greener days, with more amateur skills, in crisis, where death denied him, even after kills, he learned why curse is a sin for blessing, for he saw that visage of terror at life's closing. The man seems unmoved when this past is mentioned, having braved death 9 times. He who was once lacking now excels above everything else, still rising. Yet, when asked if he's still as ticklish as when he was a child, he does not answer. There's a wild tale he won't care to opine. It said that Castrum Kronos has secrets divine, through which the king's power has passed, a one-man army by strength in their bloodline.
Therefore, a traitor who does not inherit the throne is a king most infirm.
As the protagonist hears these words, he refutes not, but openly responds.
These are not rumors unfound. But will they matter if my deeds eclipse those of all other kings, achieving glory beyond?
Never turning back in war, he seizes all our glory.
That room in the war camp, or fury, often casts a shadow on the man's heart, indestructible and fiery. When campaigns become mired in terror, he sends his army to places safe and secure, yet alone, and he goes and fights, knowing death can touch him near. The criminal and attachment who follow him livelly or livery, all die in bed, devoid of glory. They have shared their share of grudges upon death, but the man has no regret, none necessary.
Your glory lies not in death, but in my hands.
The dust settles, the strife comes, and deathly quiet covers his father's realm, and the man alone returns home. A question seemed to sound from shadows of the past around.
Did you already walk that flame-chasing road, O King?
Atop the throne, the man mutters alone.
There's nothing else worthy of the hunt, for I am the blazing fire at the journey's end.
As has been foretold, he killed the king to become a king, and killed the god to become a god. His eternal destiny is to be crowned in blood. Alright, 2 more. Aglia. Part 4. In the past, when strife swallowed the earth, and schemes disrupted the hearts of friends, the maiden who was yet to weave was wrapped in a cocoon most grand, untouched by a storm sweeping through the land. She spent her youth in a place palace of romance, surrounded by treasures, with even maids beautiful beyond belief, often bathing in the praise and admiration of wealthy nobles. Till warfare set the friends aflame, and the devoutly praying priests was slaughtered before the altar. The family adored by all perished before their courtyards, and the blood of her maidservants dyed her golden mantle red. The golden threads covering her eyes snapped, and the concealed truth finally appeared firsthand.
Before a strong wind, a weak nobility cannot stand.
In the long, endless war, the gold of her family was shadowed by the sword, and the legacy of romance became a tragedy. She had a broken mansion and an empty house. The nobles who once loved her, none now willing to help her. All the romance, talent, peerage, and beauty, what use were they in disaster? As she closed her eyes in melancholy, the maidservant pushed the broken loom to Ernest.
Would you like to pick up the shuttle again and weave for me?
The young miss wanted to laugh, but could only respond with shock, for the maid's face was now covered in scars, as she fought to protect her mistress's safety.
Though I can no longer see, I still want to don the garments you weave.
And yet, when she heard this, the desire to weave overcame her fears. Therefore, in the broken shadow of a house, the loom of romance moved once more. The garments were exchanged for copious gold, buying back her renown of old. Yet beside the mistress, most noble, there was once a blind man, always a blind man in tow, dressed in like luxuries unfitting. As all your attended banquets, the praises of her youth returned.
Majestic lady must be Nestia in the flesh.
But harsh words also
Mistress's
joined.
beauty is quite reduced by a maidservant so unsightly.
The maidservant apologized in embarrassment.
My mistress,
Going ahead.
I have brought you shame.
Yet her mistress brought her to the middle of the ball, having her garbed in the latest dress as the model. She now knew that praise and ridicule were both untrue, and that romance cared not for the beauty of the face. The golden thread of gods exists only within. That's nice. She is no longer that helpless girl. She already carries the god's authority and walks the hero's route, but she still cannot hold back the calamity of strife. The unsightly maidservant blocked the dagger aimed at the mistress's soul, and blood once again dyed red some she wove. That was the last time in her life the maid's face she clearly beheld. Aw, that's sad. When sewing the death shroud, she could not control how her fingers shook, often pricked by the needle sharp and acute. Thus that pristine white cloth, wept with tears of blood and gloom. And when the day of the funeral came, she saw the commoners in the graves, and the nobles dressed in silk, frolicking in the groves, and sadness overwhelmed her in droves. Is this the destiny unleashed for the act of chasing God's core flames? She kneels before the divine stasis, statues, and prays the majesty of romance. The look at these garments soaked in blood from the flames of war.
Why are those that appear so fair in fact ugly in truth? Why do faces unsightly contain souls cut from noble cloth? Why can the blind see the light? And why do those with eyes only see night?
The dying gods remain silent.
If you no longer have the power to see, then with my destiny,
She grasps the burning core flame.
I'll exchange for eyes that can see everything.
Warm liquids flow from her eyes that now see all. In the instance, she is sure that she saw a manifestation of... Is it gonna say it? Beauty. I was waiting for it to say it, because it says the other stuff in quotes. So I thought it would. Okay, I'm finally Anaxa. Okay, 3.
Do not make him your enemy, even though he may seem frail and weak.
When a valiant warrior from Ra assaulted the grove, he shattered their strength with only his eyes and pointing stick. He sent them running, pride cut to the
He
quick.
may seem cold and unkind, but he sees through human emotions with just a peek.
The student was troubled by love's trials and aches. With one sentence, he guided them away from heartbreak, letting destiny's strands weave a path to love and happiness shape.
All is science, and human wisdom knows no bounds. Both martial prowess and emotions are knowledge that can be found.
He firmly believes that all things can be deciphered. Bear to those who peek. Those that cannot be solved are not mysteries infinite, but only questions waiting to be answered, not obstacles bleak. For those who only protect themselves, the world cannot see their intentions. In sorrowful parting hours, the scholar fears his trifle matters. Isolated in a corner of his library, he fiddles with instruments and crafters. Colleagues suspect him of creating new blasphemies, while students believe him to be making new miracles of mastery. The curious one's gaze through the window beholds, seeing a small wooden bird on the table, waddling in comfort, swaying in the scholar's hand, an endearing cohort. I ask him, seeking his motive for this effort, but the scholar, usually so quick to retort, refuses to answer, seemingly coming up short. Creatures that through his hands pass all change their functions, invoking wonder peerless. He once removed his hat, as others witnessed, then walked that over water with success. They also saw him light a flare, fearless, instead creating chilling cold air not so harmless. That bird was once a toy, and now his messenger, or perhaps still a toy. That is the magic trick of his success, and one of his teachings that he will
Nothing
profess.
in this world is ever born fixed.
The far-seeing must be far in thought. His teachings are like prophetic delight, yet he opposes prophecies with all his might. Is a time he refrains from looking back on, traveling all lands, chasing prophecies, trying to prove the priest's words were not unchangeable foresight. Countless times he exhausted his crafty slates, wanting to rescue the doomed and resurrected waits, wanting to shame the prophesied heroes of magic and might, wanting to sway promised villains to a course more upright. I have to wait for this. Oh, it's disconnected. I'll have to fix this in. Unless it starts again. Okay, it's back, but the thing is gone. Can I get back to it? Cass, only at the very end did I realize she was nothing like the rumors. I'm really curious. Is everyone like this? Having a side that no one else sees? Is Petra the same? I always remain just as I was when we first met. I do have quite a few sides. I'm curious about your hidden side. We'll know when the story's over. I've only just been born, so of course I don't have one. Really though? As even later on, there must be people who stay unchanged forever, right? But right now, I'm not really in the mood to dig too deep. Cass's story is stepping into the next chapter. I can't quite explain how I feel. It's like sadness, but also like some strange sense of relief. If someone would ask about us, how should we tell a story? Her embrace was just as warm as others. She did everything she was meant to. Death couldn't stop her from loving. Maybe it's not over yet. Her embrace was just as warm as others. Yeah, because she's saying her hands are too cold. If you say that, Petra, then that's a trustworthy student. I'd love a hug from her too. In future stories, Petra doesn't have to go out of the way to avoid any endings for my sake, okay? Even though every story is an ending, I still wish everything could start over again. Okay. Can I... Here, I didn't finish this. Wait, did I? Oh, countless times he exhausted his crafty slates, wanted to rescue the doomed resurrect waits, wanted to shame the prophesied heroes of magic and might, wanting to sway promised villains to a course more upright. Perhaps fate could not guess his goals, but could trample over his plans overnight. At the end, all his challenges flicker out, but he persists still in endless plight. His ambitions are too lofty, and so fear follows him, never so softly. Through moments of defeat, felt increasingly common, the scholar learned one thing he has never forgotten. Respond to defeat with a smile haughty, not from optimism, nor from defeat of heart.
This misfortune's severity.
The laughter oozes with self-mockery, but is also full of different emotion.
If this road is easy to walk, then future generations will not praise my name in piety,
says his ambition. So that's why he's always laughing so much. Interesting, there's still 4 more I haven't got yet. And these ones are very close to the last one, but not quite. Oh, that's all of them. I get a wishful resin. How do I get this? I guess I've done that maybe already. Yeah, that was really interesting. I'm excited to see what happens next in the next act of the Amphoreus Trailblaze mission. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then remember to watch more of my Star engagement videos. So I have plans on screen you should watch. Thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed, goodbye!